What's up, boys and girls, lady wolves, lady wolvettes, Mr. Wolves? Well, whoever's watching this, hi, how you doing? All right, so this particular video, now I made a smaller version of it. It's going to be titled "Having Babies Without a Social Security Number." Let's just start them off right, shall we? Now, there are some benefits, in due fact of that, under the U.S. of having a social security number. So you have to determine, once again, it's educational information, if this is something you want to do for your child, because you could be limiting them in some ways, and in more ways than that, you could be freeing them. Not all birds want to fly free. Some like to be in that gilded cage. So, whatever's clever, but you have to make sure you have things set up for them so that they can be successful. All right, so this particular article is not mine. I tried to find the original owner before using their materials, but there's no name on the bottom. There's nothing anywhere. Another person on their website, basically the same thing happened. They found this material, and there was no way to ask for permission to use it, so we're going to just use it. Yoink! So this will be available on my website for free. It says babies without social security numbers and without birth certifications or birth certificates. Now, I've done some consultations on this, on how to do this and get around it. I made a minor video on it, but this particular excerpt here, or story, is about an individual's personal experience going through everything step by step. What they did, what they didn't do, all that. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it would be a very long video, and you guys know I don't make long ones. So this particular one starts off with, this essay is the result of an encouragement of my dad, who was, to some degree, responsible for the status of my daughter. Now, over 2 years old, in conversations with my father since the birth of my daughter, he thought it might be beneficial to others to share my hospital experience with those who may be wondering about such matters. Having been talked into sharing my experience, I take the pen up now, computer, to share those thoughts that led up to having my baby girl who holds no social security number nor any county government issued birth certificate, and to share the events within the hospital in refusing the allowance of these government identifications. Okay? So if you guys want to read the story, it will be available on blacksite32.com, probably under the free download section. Otherwise, I may even just start a blog and just copy paste it right into the blog. Now, two things. When you do get this file, or if it's on the blog or whatever, so you're going to have to look around. It's on there somewhere. It's going to have some, not so much spelling errors, but some of the spacing are going to be different because I just copied and pasted it. Like, I'm honest. I could go through and clean it up. I'm not going to do that. You're grown. Figure it out. Which is also funny because some of my files, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am not the best person at grammar. Thank God for spell check. But I'm going to tell you this. Letting me know if you bought the file that there was a grammatical error in there or whatever else. Don't care. Okay? Most of it's good to go. The rest of it is because you need to fix it and make the file yours. Okay? I highly suggest even moving around paragraphs, changing up the wording, make it your own. It's just a template. I am not a school teacher. I'm a bringer of knowledge, not a teacher of grammar or spelling or any other kind of stuff. Okay? Okay. Knowing is half the battle. Let's move on. All right, so in here, this particular person ends up just kind of talking about how he had to make a decision on if this is something he really wanted to do, and then try to find like ways, to help her in the future. So she doesn't have a social, she needs something to use as a public transmitting utility so that she can get bank accounts. Now, even though bank accounts by law are available for everybody, and there is no law promoting them to have to use a social security, there are laws that say that they are not supposed to ask you for your social security number. So those are things that are illegal and they're unlawful, but they get away with it because everybody just does it. Okay? That doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean, now there are some banks who will let you not use it, but you have to find them and work with them and present your case and be willing to go to the nth degree of the law. Okay? So, we already talked about ways around it. So here he's just kind of talking about how, he knows that if he gets these social security numbers and whatever else, he's creating a legal fiction for his daughter. He talks about how they essentially came into his room and they were pressuring him to do it and looking at him like, what? Why would you not? Because you have to understand, I don't know if any of them get any kickbacks for it, but they definitely are pushed from people higher up to do that. And they literally, in their brains, their little rabbit minds, think that you have to have this. There's no other way around it because they have it and they were taught this, you have to have this. So from their perspective, they're standing on 100% solid ground while you're in a marsh going, sinking, and they're looking at you like, oh, this person doesn't even realize what they're doing to themselves. They're just, it's horrible. Why would you not do this for your daughter, your child? It's because they don't know that there's life outside of the box. Okay? Which was always how us U.S. national state citizens, foreign nationals, and private nation authorities are supposed to have lived. Okay? And here, this particular section, he's talking about how he had to determine the consequences of his actions. Like I talked about earlier on, all those little things that they're just not going to be able to have unless they have like an EIN or foreign EIN or some kind of public transmitting utility number for them to be able to do business. Remember, everything they do in the world, in this commercial world, has to have a number on it. The form, the social for you, the whatever for the, it all has to be there. And then here he talks about the hospital and birth day. Never allow them to use the term birth date. What's that about? So that information is going to be right here. Like I said, guys, I'm not going to read through the whole thing because it's like 12 pages long, and yeah, I'd be reading so fast you guys wouldn't get any good information out of it. So basically, whenever you okay, so we'll jump in. In short, this is a legal process. The birth certificate is registered with the Bureau of Vital Statistics. 2, whenever you register, not record anything in public registry, you have placed the object identified, in this case your child, into international commerce and transferred legal title to the government, retaining only equitable title to yourself. You may use the registered item, but it is not your property. You have transferred it to the government. Are you with me? Okay, this is why they're able to child safety or child protective services, this and that, your marriage license, your fishing license. That's why they can step in, but you didn't know any better, right? Right, because you didn't. Fair enough. Okay, so this is why the government may now take your child, place them wherever they want. They're protecting their legal property. Okay. Benefits. At the end of my hospital stay, I walked out with a citizen of the Republic of California, so a state citizen, also a U.S. national. All right. Freedom is easily lost. All it takes is willful indifference. Okay. And that's basically it. Let's see here. We're almost at our time anyway. So that's it, guys. I just got this prepared, so by the time you guys are seeing this video, poof, it's already up on my website, blacksite32.com. So go check it out if you guys want to read this guy's story in depth. It's pretty interesting. I know a lot of you guys on consultations and through chat have reached out to me and are like, Bad Wolf, how do I do this? Well, you can read this person's story. We can do consultations, and I made some other videos on it. So that's about it, guys. Talk to you later.